Welcome back to episode 17 of Read This Way, your whatever scheduling of manga and anime. I am Brad.
And I am Logan.
Oh, wait, it's mirrored.
It
He's
is.
Logan.
That's really awkward. And that's Brad. So as the names indicate.
Yeah, so welcome back to... Ooh, hit my mic. My bad. Sorry. I'm professional, I swear, and I've done this many times before.
That's at least 17 times. At least 17.
At least, bare minimum. Welcome back, everybody. Make sure to like the video and comment down below or wherever it is for you. If you're watching live, make sure to send us in requests of stuff to read or whatever else. And yeah, make sure you hit that little notification bell and the subscribe button wherever it is and whatnot. And yeah, share us to your friends. Get us out there. Help us grow. Help us
become a community. We want to become a community, you know?
That's right. That's right.
Bring people together for the love.
That's right. Manga. The love of manga.
Yeah.
And I guess to a lesser extent, anime.
Oh, well, you know, as an extension. It's an extension of, you know, and
I
when it's done right, it's done right.
It's basically just like advertisement, right?
Yeah. And look, you're not wrong. You're really not wrong. And I find that anytime that an anime hits on point, the manga just goes, it just explodes. Whereas if they screw it up, it just dies. And I'll tell you what, Spy X Family, perfect example right now.
My God, it went nuts, didn't it?
Man, that thing has gone absolutely crazy. It's when you think about how small it was when it first started and where it is now, because it took quite a while to, I mean, it had enough popularity to maintain its position in Jump, but I don't think it ever really... Oh, it was Jump Plus.
Yeah, so even though it's on our app, it's Jump Plus.
There you go.
It was the first, and then followed by Kaiju number 8.
Okay. I keep forgetting Kaiju's a Jump Plus.
Actually, speaking of Kaiju number 8, we're getting an announcement soon. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
It's happening. It's happening. They've kind of announced, haven't they? They've kind of said, they said it's going to happen. They don't know who. They don't have a date, who's animating or any of that sort of stuff, but they have a locked in, we're going to turn this into an anime and it's going to happen.
I only actually just caught up on the latest chapter today, and man, it's so fun. Like, it doesn't do anything groundbreaking, but it's just fun.
It's that warm doona on a cold night, right? It's that familiarity with that shonen style environment. It's predictable, yes, but it's comforting. You know that you're going to enjoy it because you can switch off and you can just enjoy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what makes it fun.
It's a little bit unfortunate, but they are going on a 1-month break as of the latest chapter, which
I did notice that. I did notice that. I looked at the chapter and then I saw the release date and I'm just like, and then I had a frowny face when I saw it because they'd just gotten back into it. And I'm just like, wait a minute.
I have a feeling they're doing well, not just Oda actually now, because they're kind of allowing the mangakas to take time to prepare the next sort of arc going forward. Because like Black Clover, One Piece,
Akane is 2 weeks now.
No, I think there's a public holiday in Japan because I think everything's
public holidays.
Yeah, well, there's Golden Week as well, but
I thought they just did Golden Week, or is it already been that long?
No, Golden Week's in May.
May?
I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
I'm pretty sure they just did it.
Yeah, no, everything.
It's like
I mean, yeah, it's
You
not
know,
that long ago.
months ago. Months ago.
Yeah, no, everything is next coming out in 11 days by the looks. So yeah. Yeah, so chapter 68, there's
Okay.
absolutely enough stuff for a anime.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, here we go. It was the 5th. I completely missed it. I completely forgot. Ah, I thought it was still coming.
No, we were talking about it. We were talking about it last
Yeah.
time. Not last time. I
I
mean, like weeks ago.
yeah.
We did say something.
Just jumping onto the website.
It's got to be
Now.
there's something happening
Oh.
because don't do that. It makes me
Well,
think I've missed something.
no, because on the website they've got Jump Plus, Twitter, and Movie, which is interesting.
Movie or movie?
Movie.
Movie?
Is this? Oh yeah, no, that's chapter 1. That's just a link to chapter 1. That's the Japanese Twitter for Kaiju number 8. And that's just the same trailer that I just saw. So that. Oh, okay. So it's just. It must be a translation. So it's the trailer. It's not a movie. Okay, that's just a little bit confusing.
The PV.
Yeah, the little PV.
Yeah.
That's on Twitter. So yeah,
Man,
that's
they've been
super
dropping
exciting.
a lot of those. Been dropping a lot of those PVs lately, haven't they?
Yeah, they're really pushing the social media side of things with like videos.
I think it's
and
YouTube. Surely enough, it's YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. I think they're pushing in those directions with the short videos and the and trying to capture people with. Look, I don't know how many people out there have watched them, but they are a great little cinematic process of moving panels. That
Yeah.
are not actually animated, but with the right amount of music, and they do have voiceovers though, don't they?
I think and I think they use After Effects to kind of
just to move things around, to give it
like
that
clip
sense of
things
depth.
out. Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks so
yeah.
cool. It's almost like it reminds me of pop out books.
Yeah, kind of
That's
like pop-up books. Yeah,
the sort of vibe that it gives me. Almost
yeah.
like your paper dioramas.
Yeah. Every time I see that sort of stuff.
Hey Jack, we're just talking about Kaiju number 8. It has gotten well an anime announcement.
It's got a green light, man.
But
It's got a green light, and you know what's happening. I can guarantee you, in the backgrounds there
bidding
is
wars.
someone. Yeah, there's a big bidding war going on with the companies, and they're like, "No, we want this," because it is so much bigger. It's so much bigger than the mangakas realize. I don't think they actually understand how big this series is going to be, and I don't think they are seeing the future that they're going to have. I reckon that it's going to hit them pretty hard.
Yeah,
and we may see once again some health issues pursue us in the future, near future.
I think they announced not announced. I think they released the voiced version of chapter 1 of Akane as well.
The voice version? What?
Yeah,
They're like they were talking about this.
Yeah, the trailer. So it's essentially a read through with voice actors.
But the voice actors are
also
Rakugo.
God. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. So they've actually released.
I'm 99% sure I saw it, but now I can't find it.
Let's track it down. We'll look into it. Everybody else out there, they should look into it right now, because that thing, Akane Banashi, is just going off like crazy.
It's so good.
It's got supports from everyone.
I think the interesting thing about Akane Banashi and the way that it's being pushed is because it's so different to all of the other series that I can think of Jump ever really sort of doing. I don't know if they know how to really market it because they're so
no. I think you're missing the point here a little bit. I think because they've done this stuff in the past, because you look at things like Bakuman, Okay, that's a very similar
Yeah,
scenario. Okay, and
I
there
still
is
haven't seen
quite a
it.
few.
Read it.
Or read it by the sounds of it. It's a very similar environment where you have someone fighting for their passion. This
Yeah,
is typical, shonen style environment. It's just a different topic, and I think they're
but I mean,
really on
it's
top of
not.
pushing
It,
it.
it doesn't fit into any of their genres though.
Well, it
Like it's not.
does.
It's not really a drama.
Yeah, it is. It's drama. It's probably more drama than comedy, to be
It
honest.
it's probably drama's probably the closest thing it is, but I wouldn't really consider it like a, I don't know. I don't know where to put it. I'd put it in edutainment. That's my genre.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing, and that's where people, I think, are getting really confused, and they're not sure where to put it or what to do with it because they're experiencing something new.
But they were like,
And
it's good. I just don't know why.
yeah, and you can't go, oh, that's a sci-fi piece, or that's an action piece, or that's set in this period. No, it's none of that.
Yep.
It's an educational experience because you are learning how these people construct these environments, how they do what they do. And Bakuman was very, very much the same. It was an observation of how mangakas work and how much they push themselves and how much they stress and stuff like that. So this is a very similar scenario where you're taking a topic which isn't as common as all the other stuff that's floating around, but you apply that same material that everybody else is using to that topic. So you
Yeah.
take that strive, that passion that the main character has to become the best or get the answer for this or do this and that. You get that shonen feel, but it's a new topic. So people are like, well, where do we put this? It's not strictly a comedy. It's not strictly a drama. It's about a particular topic. It's not it's not coming of age or anything like that. It's just a story about a girl who loves something and is pushing towards it.
A girl who loves stories.
Yeah, and that's I think that's been difficult for shonen to try and push forwards, and I think they've even been slightly confused as to why it's been as popular as it has.
Which is
And
why I
this,
think that's why there's that push from the fellow mangaka
yeah,
recommending it. I That's what I was getting at in terms of I don't think they know how to promote it the normal way because
no, because it's a
it
topic.
yeah.
It's a topic that's strictly Japanese.
Mm,
It's a very and you were saying the other day that Kingdom has this exact same problem.
yeah.
It has a ground in something that's strictly Japanese, and they just assume the external won't understand, or they don't want to know, or they don't want to understand. Whereas we're sitting here, at every page turn, going, "What's happening next?" give us the next thing, and they don't seem to understand that the English speaking audience or the French speaking audience or the German speaking audience are sitting at the edge of the seat going, where's the next thing, when's it happening? And they think because it's strictly a Japanese story, they don't know what to do with it, they don't know
Yeah.
how to handle it. And I think the mangaka are doing a better job at pushing that forwards than what the actual company's doing.
A little bit.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. I
Just
mean, having
just a smidge.
the guy from Neon Genesis supported as well. It's just,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
just that took me
Hide-
for a side flash. I'm just like, oh,
Hideaki
geez, I
Anno,
haven't
yeah,
seen that name
everybody's
for a while.
like just on it, man. It's crazy.
And I think
Um,
it must be something that is really, wedged into a lot of Japanese culture that we're not familiar with.
yeah.
We've never seen it because there's no movies about this. There's no
No,
manga about this. There's no books about this that we can read. It's all brand new and it's fascinating as hell. I want to experience this live. I would love
I
to
really
see a
want to.
Rakugo. You know, I would love to
My
sit
only
down and
problem is that I'm
experience it.
not fluent.
No, and that's terrible. And from our Australian background, storytelling is one of our tools. You know,
Yeah.
we've used that for so many years, uh, over the years, to help our country be, you know, historically what it is. And then, you know, we understand it. We have an attachment to it. We get that storytelling is an important part of culture, and I think that's why it's really hitting off here. I think it's you know, a lot of people are really catching on to Kane. It's doing really well here.
I have found, well, I couldn't find it on Twitter where I initially saw it, but I have found, I just jumped onto the Jump's official YouTube channel, which unfortunately is all in Japanese. However,
You work it
um,
out.
in the descriptions below, if you want to check it out, there's actually a 20-minute read through of like a few different comics. Actually, I think they've even done Earth Child, Earth Children, whatever
Sorry.
it's called.
So you remember that name? Yes, it still exists. It's still happening. uh, oh, it's still going. It's still going.
Yeah. Okay, so it does have subtitles. However, the subtitles are also in Japanese.
Yes.
Damn it!
That's the best kind. I'm gonna watch it just to experience it. I don't know.
But yeah, it's I think we did mention this in another episode, but the cool thing about the Akane Banashi one that they were planning on doing, they got a father and daughter who both perform the Rakugo to do the father and daughter in chapter 1,
Oh, that's
which
cool.
is also the only chapter that the dad's in.
Shh, he's not dead. He's alive. He's
I really
just
thought,
dead on the inside.
yeah. I thought for sure he was gonna die. Like, my god.
Yeah. Nah. I think it's too much of a feel good series, and I felt it when they did that. When they you know, acknowledged that he was still alive, he'd just given up on his dream.
Yeah.
That it was going to be a light-hearted series that
He
didn't
might
take
as well
itself
be
too
dead.
seriously. But yeah, it's going to analyze you know, and understand a dream concept, a concept of being able to follow your passion and keep pushing forwards towards it. And in Akane's, you know, current scenario, her push is to, you know, find out why her father was, you know, dispelled from the Rakugo environment. But when it comes down to it, I think she doesn't realize she's pushing into a, you know, an almost prodigy style level of Rakugo that they, you know, they're looking for. She's what they're looking for, whereas she's trying to find answers. So once she's found the
Well,
answers,
I
I
want
think,
you think that
yeah,
there's going to be a bit of a
it's going to be a major push
let
in a
off of
different
the
direction.
accelerator? Yeah.
I think it's going to push in a different direction. I think it's going to start focusing on what, you know, her future is,
Yeah.
because right now the
The driving
understanding is the
force.
driving force is her father. But when she finds out that she is better than her father ever was at the level she currently is,
Mm.
which is I don't, there's no spoilers here because nobody's read the future chapters, but I think this is what's going to happen. Is she's going to be able to view some form of video or sequence where she can see how her father performed during that period, not through the eyes of a little girl who was loving her father, but from the perspective of a professional Rokugo. And she can look at it and go, oh, wait a minute, maybe he wasn't at the level that she thought he was. And she's already, you know, well and truly surpassed what he was capable of at the time.
I get what you're saying. However, I do think it was still really drastic for what's his face to
Oh
just
yeah.
expel everybody.
Yeah. And I think that was all a big advertising ploy. That was him trying to build up some steam for the Rakugo environment to, build up a bit of, controversy for the news to cover, to get it back in the motion of pushing forwards and becoming more popular.
Yeah, you'd think that there'd be a better way to do that though than to like crush like what was
But
it
he's an old
5
man. He
dudes.
doesn't know any better. He just
He was an
wants
old
them
man in
to.
the, like 8 years ago. He's an old
Yeah,
man
I know.
still.
He's still an old man, but now he's more attuned to the younger audience. He's trying to generate a different positivity and a
I want
different
to see.
angle
I want to see how he is.
off camera.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah,
Outside of the public eye, because we haven't
yeah,
seen that really
yeah.
since.
Oh, it'll be a different conversation once they get off that stage and it's him and Akane. It's going to be a whole different conversation. That's my prediction.
I did really like the latest chapter though, where it was building up. Oh, pardon me. The two new, like the
The
voice
voice
actress
actress and the
and
this little
the
guy,
the
that the
new
modern
age,
guy. Yeah,
yeah. And they both had such like amazing reactions from the crowd, and then they've gone and instead of doubling down on the performance or like and the skill of the Rakagoka, they focusing like on Akane being able to disappear from the stage. I thought that was so
yeah,
cool
yeah.
because
It's exactly what the storytelling is meant to be, isn't it?
yeah, you're being enthralled and sucked into the world. And funnily enough, I've been listening to probably the closest thing that we have to uh well actually, well, yeah, probably the closest thing we have to Rakugo um that we have within our grasp would be like audiobooks.
Yeah, or
I mean,
podcast.
it's not the same, but
Yeah,
it's got that similar sort of feel to it. And I've been reading quite a few audiobooks lately actually. Because little side note, completely not related to anime or manga at all. The inheritance cycle, Aragon and all of those are getting picked up for a TV series by Disney Plus. So I've jumped back onto that and listened to like 30 plus hours of
oof,
fantasy
oof.
novel over 2 weeks.
Oh Jesus!
And still somehow managed to keep up to date with all the manga.
And go to work. What the hell?
I
You
don't know,
sleep?
man. Well, that's why I'm so tired.
It's just, you know what, that really shows you how much you travel,
Yeah.
because you tend to do that sort of stuff during travel.
Well,
I do the same thing.
travel and literally just like any spare moment. So like doing the dishes, just doing random things around the house. I've just been any spare time that I have is just I am back into the world, and it's been interesting to
Yeah.
revisit it. And yeah, the dad does suck in
Yeah.
comparison to his daughter.
I think he's a great dad. Don't get us wrong, he's a great dad, but his Rakugo sucks, I think. Yeah, look,
um
you're right. It's that storytelling, environment that is really pushing Akane, and you're experiencing it via an audiobook, and you
wait,
understand that,
yeah,
you can get sucked into this stuff so easily. It can pull you into the world when done right,
yeah,
and it's so easy to pull you out of it if they've done it wrong. It's yeah.
yeah.
I think they're really onto something with this. They're really onto something with Akane. and it'll be interesting to see where it goes from now.
For sure.
Because I remember when I was reading Bakuman, there was a point where I'm just like, okay, so I've lost interest in this.
Oh, really?
Well, it's because the story starts to repeat itself
Right.
because they've reached a point, and very much like all shonen do. You look at Dragon Ball, and the fact that they've gone, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, and it's just repeating itself around and around and around.
Yeah.
And this is typical of a shonen environment. And there is usually a point where I just go, okay, I've read this story.
I get it.
Yeah, I do. I prefer shorter stuff. I prefer things that cut off at
Yeah.
120 to 130 chapters, unless they've got something more to tell or in a different perspective. So segue over to Chainsaw Man. He's shifted from his first part over to his second part. He's telling a different story
There's been
in the same world.
one character from part 1 that we've seen currently. Is that
And they're not
right?
directly related.
No,
They're
they're
like
minor character.
like a cousin of a minor character or
Oh,
something
no,
like
no.
that.
The
Or
good-looking
brother,
one.
or which one?
The good-looking the one
Sorry.
that the War Devil asks out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
He
guy.
was
Yeah.
in Chainsaw Man part 1.
Okay. Was
Yeah.
he?
Yeah, very minor character. He was working with I've forgotten his name. The one that has the scar across his face. The one that basically is the only devil hunter that Denji's like aligned with at the end of part 1.
I can't remember. That's a long time
You
ago.
know who I'm talking about though?
I think so. There's so many characters in that series that die and are so irrelevant that
There's like
I just
six survive. That's it.
yeah. So
and only
a lot of
2.
those
Oh wait, no,
I don't
3.
really pay attention.
There's like
So
3 that are like actually prominent, like Denji, Kobeni, and the dude that we can't remember his name. And then the other 3 are like exceptionally minor characters.
yeah. It's
Um,
crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy. But this is, as we step forwards, it's a whole new story. It's a whole new. I'm not going to say a whole new world, but it's it's a whole new world.
A whole new
it's
point of view.
yes, it is it's the same. It's almost the same. No, it's not the same point of view. It's a different point of view, and it's a different feel. It's almost like Power's point of view.
There's no one to tell us no or where to go.
Yeah.
Or
what to
say
do.
we're only dreaming.
Yeah. After all the freaking one shots he's done, I'm so mindfucked about wanting to commit to the story because I feel like he's just going to turn around and go, haha, gotcha.
She dead.
She's actually died back in chapter 1. And this is all just a big old dream.
Yeah, no, perspective is definitely the better word. I was just going along
Yeah.
with the Aladdin reference.
Yeah, we were. Look, it is it's a different perspective on the world that they lived in, because you go in from the perspective of someone who
was an outcast of society.
Yeah, from an outcast of society to someone who is well embedded in society.
And relative, well, I was going to say well adjusted, but well adjusted in comparison to Denji.
She was well adjusted until her parents were killed, and then she's clearly become disgruntled with the devil environment. That's understandable. But from a standard normal high school girl perspective, she's normal.
Yeah.
So it is it's a great perspective to take. He's done a really good job of picking a perspective that would not be anything like what it was, but at the same time, exactly what Denji was looking for.
Yep.
So she's basically living what Denji wanted to live,
Yeah.
you know, and
Um, and I I have a feeling that this is going to be a tragic love story for part two.
could be, yeah,
I feel like Denji and Asa are going to fall in love, and they're either going to have this star-crossed lovers sort of thing, or they're gonna be like two ships in the night missing each other when they do like their transformations or whatnot. And it's gonna be
yeah,
like this almost like will they won't they, but it's gonna be like a will they or won't they find out about the other's secret, or at least Asa finding out about Denji's secret, because I don't think um War
not
Devil's going
until
to.
not until one kills the other, and they're like, "Ah, you're actually the person I fell in love with." Ah, it's yeah. Is it gonna be?
Ah.
Is it gonna be one of those scenarios? Or are we gonna experience a really tragic love story here? He does like to tear the soul out of your body.
I also
We
want to
know this.
know how whether or not he's going to have, I guess, like residual personalities in the like, for example, when Power comes back, because she's gonna come back. She's potentially gonna come back very different.
Yeah,
Like we've had the Bat Devil come back in the last chapter, and the Bat Devil was actually the devil that Denji. It was like Power's arc. That was the
yeah. It
first.
was like the first big beast that he had to handle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're leaning into that, and maybe we'll meet Power before Denji. Whether or not.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong there. I feel like he's gonna lay down every character well before he releases Denji, and then it's like
Uh,
here's this goofy boob loving guy. He's back.
I wonder if we're gonna get like um the Gun Devil coming back, and it have like somehow fused with Aki, and we're gonna get some reminiscent part of
Ooh,
him come back, but not
you just
quite.
you're trying to break
Yeah,
my heart here,
I
man.
know, man. It's Fujimoto though, so I'm like looking off into the distance and wondering what he's going to do with like the devil reincarnation, and whether or not Beam's coming back. What was Boom Girl's name again? I've forgotten.
I loved her. She was so good.
She was that
Uh,
whole love. Well, I mean
that
that's
arc was just great.
indicative of what Fujimoto wants to do with love stories. Like that
Yeah,
was pretty tragic for Denji.
yeah, it was.
How you doing, Shan?
How we going? Yeah, it was. It was. It, I love that arc because they had such chemistry. Because I honestly think that she loved him as
Yeah,
much, despite all the things that were going on. I feel like that the base characters between them actually had a lot of involvement, and it probably broke my heart the most, that arc, the fact that they sort of talking about
well,
Chainsaw Man.
yeah, man. Specifically, part two. Well, actually, no, we're not really talking about anything in particular about it now. It's just
No.
kind of speculating and um, kind of more what I want out of the future
Guessing.
of the
Yeah,
series.
yeah, we're guessing what Fujimoto's going to do, because that man is as unpredictable as any other author
Yeah.
floating around. It's just insane the way he twists and turns and breaks our hearts,
I
all the
just
time.
can't wait to see what and how they're going to adapt the chaoticness that was the manga into the anime. And I'm wondering how much. And when I say filler, I don't necessarily mean it in the bad way, but like extrapolating on the source material. I'm
Yeah, they're
wondering how
going
much that we're
to,
going to get.
after going back and reading a few of the earlier chapters, there's a lot of there's a lot of goofiness in those first chapters. And Denji is really, as a character, is really trying to find his feet in
Yeah.
who he is and what he's trying to do and trying to portray. He achieves these things of, kissing girls and touching boobs and all that sort of stuff in those first,
Just
60 odd
power.
chapters. I know. And when he gets his first kiss gets vomited in, it's just
Completely forgot about that.
it is just beautiful in all of its twists and damage that is done over the time. But
It's
at
such
the
a
same
unique
time,
coming of age story too.
yeah, he maintains his innocence all the way through, all the violence and all the stupidity and all the craziness. Right through to the end, he maintains this innocence of what's love, what's
Yeah.
dedication, what is being with someone and putting yourself on the line. So
And what is it to
it's,
truly live, I guess, as well. And
yeah, that's right.
you can't have the good without having the bad, because then you don't have anything to kind of
There's no
gauge it
benchmark.
against.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And sometimes you do just want to sit down and watch a shitty movie that's just really badly written and directed.
So you can enjoy the stuff that is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
but
you can
then but
appreciate
then
it.
there's that like unique enjoyment of watching something so bad as well. Like, it's not even just for that benchmark. Like, The Room is a perfect example. Like, it's
Yeah.
critically acclaimed the worst thing ever, but it's a cult classic because it's so bad it's funny.
But it's not just funny, but it's a view of someone's passion for something to the
Hmm,
point where they don't even understand what it is that they're passionate about.
yeah.
And
It's
Denji's that example. He is The Room. He is a
yeah.
catastrophe of emotional damage that is
Yeah.
just following a path that someone has given him.
If it's not
He
obvious, we're like huge Fujimoto fans.
Yeah, we like to discuss and deconstruct. It's one of the things we do. Because
um
he has a lot of emotion behind his works, and I think he puts a lot of um I don't know, just deeper meanings. This is that last one shot, right? That last one shot that he did.
just listen to
Just
the
listen
song.
to the goddamn music, but I can't help it. Every time I read his stuff, I'm like,
No.
there's more in here.
Yeah.
And you gotta look deeper, and you feel like he's trying to convey a message, but he's probably just some dude in a room giggling at a story because he said the word boobs. It's just I just
Well,
feel like he's
actually,
that guy.
okay, so look, when looking into Fujimoto and all of his past works, there's like very little on him in particular, but what there is on Wikipedia, he grew up with his grandparents in a remote village that didn't actually have a school, and he went to art class with his grandparents, and it was like oil paintings and things like that. So I wonder whether or not a lot of he poured a lot of himself into Denji because of like that initial start of like his life was more learning art and probably even going into the workforce a bit earlier than usual, or helping his grandparents out in that sort of environment. Because if you look at Denji, he goes he's what 15 or something at the start of the
I
series
think
when
at the start,
he's
like
around
when
like
he forms with Pachita, I think yeah,
yeah
it's 15, 16 sort of area.
around there, and
Mm.
he hasn't been to school once, and he goes straight into the workforce. such a unique coming of age story.
Not just any workforce.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like
Because
it's pretty much what he's been doing,
Mm,
but now he's gonna get paid for it. So
kind
I'm
of.
wondering what's like if there are sort of parallels between Denji and the start of Chainsaw Man and his own life, whether or not it's minor or major plot points. But yeah, you get what I'm saying?
His main characters are always outcasts.
Yeah, true. But I mean, if that's the
And I
case,
think
like
that's a reflection.
living remote,
Yeah. It's a reflection on him being always, someone who's out of the circle, who didn't grow up in the normal sense.
but he
And
also always wants to connect with people too.
yeah,
Like
not always in the
all
nicest
of the
way.
yeah. Well,
We look at Fire Punch, we look at Chainsaw Man, we look at all this stuff, and we're just like,
yeah.
is this guy trying to connect with people or destroy them? Which one? Which
I'm like,
one is it?
you okay there, bud? Or um,
Oh,
well, just on a little side note, on Manga Plus's website, where you can read both the Shonen Jump stuff and the Shonen Jump Plus stuff. The popularity of the titles is actually ranked as well. So we've got our new top four being Chainsaw Man, One Piece, My Hero Academia, and Jujutsu Kaisen. Uh, Followed closely by like Spy Family and Dragon Ball and Kaiju Number
yeah.
8, Dun Dun Dun, Black Clover, and wow, Riri Dragon's really up there too. Actually,
I think that garnered a lot of support after someone has taken a bit of time off.
yeah,
Um, it's such a nice, cute breakaway from everything else that
I miss it already.
yeah, it'll be back. It'll be
I
back.
know.
It's just I would be happy with a once a month release, to be honest. I'd
Yeah,
be happy. I'd much prefer that they looked after themselves and they kept producing the manga for a longer period of time than to push themselves for a weekly basis. I'm fine with that.
yeah,
Give us 30 pages a month. I'm happy. Do a
yeah.
Trojan X.
Oh,
Segue.
so good.
Man, that stuff is just, when I first started reading Trojan X, I was unsure. I hadn't read
Honestly,
any of,
it makes me want to go back and revisit Tokyo Ghoul.
yeah, so I haven't read any Tokyo Ghoul. I
It's
watched
true.
the anime. It was
Season
it was
Season
okay.
1 is pretty damn close. Season 2
Yeah.
is anime only.
Yeah, I completely lost season 2.
It
I
doesn't.
I'll
It's
be
yeah.
honest, I don't think I actually finished watching season 2.
Um, and
Season 1
then
I powered through pretty quick.
season 3 is Tokyo Ghoul RE, which is the
Oh, yeah, I didn't look at that at all.
part 2 of the manga. Essentially, um, there's a dramatic shift in everything. Actually, the main character from like part 1 gets amnesia and ends up being kind of indoctrinated into like the enemy's side camp. So you
Becomes
end up
the
getting
antagonist.
you
Yeah.
end up getting like both perspectives of the story, like from either side of the war, I guess. The anime didn't do it very well.
Okay. Because
But in
anime
saying
focuses
that,
on
yeah,
action. It's standard. It focuses so heavily on action from beat to beat. It's so quick that it tends to lose the more
yeah,
nuanced style of storytelling.
yeah. I think it does definitely depend on the series, and the reason I say that is because if it's specifically like a drama series or a rom com or something like that, where they're not constrained to the same sort of beats. But because
Yeah.
Tokyo Ghoul is that hybrid of genres where it's a bit of all of those, but primarily marketed as like an action series.
Oh, it is
I
so heavily
That's yeah,
marketed that way. Yeah,
that's
because
why it's
that's when I first picked it up. I'm just like, yeah, action. that was my mentality. I thought this is going to be action series. That's what I'm going to focus on. That's what I'm going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Um, Clearly, I did. I'd completely missed that deeper emo, repertoire.
This is very emo.
It is so emo. It's like wrapped. It's like emo wrapped in emo. It is.
It's yeah. It's good
Uh,
though.
yeah. If it's anything like Trojan is, then I might go back and read it. But I have heard it's more of a less refined Trojan. Trojan seems to
Yeah.
be a much better
Oh, for
class of
sure.
manga. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially storytelling wise. Man, his beats in Trojan X are just phenomenal. His lead in from just general everyday life into insane action. It just beats so comfortably. There's no jilted or unusual environments happening. It just pushes along really nicely.
Mm. I
It's a good
um
story.
I don't actually remember where I got up to reading the manga. I need to go back to it. Um the art is still like I think
Yeah,
it's a little cleaner in Tokyo Ghoul. I don't quote me. It might look very similar to Trojan X, but yeah,
that wouldn't
it's
surprise me. Trojan X is pretty loose.
yeah.
Pretty
But
loosey goosey. I mean, it's on point. Don't get me wrong. It looks great,
mm,
but at the same time, it feels like he's a lot more relaxed
yeah.
about doing this story than the previous one.
I
And
love that we get
maybe,
it. I love that we just got like a point one chapter yes today yesterday and
yeah,
it's
it's
like
like 27 pages, isn't
yeah
it?
like that's more than a full chapter.
It's two. It's two chapters. The average chapter is like 17, 18 pages,
Yeah,
and yeah, he just seems to turn around and just go, "Oh yeah, yeah." Here's
I've
a little
been
exposition just for you.
I've been reading more titles on Manga Plus lately, and their page count's a lot higher than your typical
Yeah.
Jump or the weekly ones. Like I've fallen in love with Marriage Toxin. It is
Gosh,
so good.
it's addictive series because you know what? It's got the same vibe as um, Sakamoto.
Yeah,
It's got those beats where it's got those quiet moments and fun little interactions between the characters, and then it
yeah.
jumps into just ridiculous action. It's just got those really good beats to it, and those sort of silly characters. It just has that same sort of vibe to it. Um, I can see those two, hand in hand, taking over a solid part of the market.
Sakamoto has got to get an adaptation soon.
Yeah, I
There'd
don't
be
think
enough
anybody's
for it.
tackling it because um, its beats are a little bit unusual compared to the regular stuff because it has a lot of quiet
Yeah,
in between the action, and the action is spurts. So
yeah.
instead
It's
of
like that
having one
hard
half the
boiled,
episode, yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
So you get normally you get like half of an episode is talking, and then half of an episode is action, or a
I
solid
mean,
block is action, and then you get a little bit of talking either end. Whereas Sakamoto's like talking, smack, you've got a bit of action, then back to talking again. It's
they
just
could
got
extrapolate
that.
that action out a little bit in
Oh yeah,
places.
yeah, no doubt they
Um,
could push it out a bit further. But would you want them to?
I mean,
I like the beats of Sakamoto. It's
the
unusual.
depends on who animates it, because if like
Mm.
your choreography that like Map has been doing lately, um, Bones also has like
Yeah,
spectacular
look,
choreography.
Bones in general, they're just a fantastic company. They do some amazing stuff.
So I mean,
Um,
like depending on the company that like the animation studio that picks it up,
yeah,
it could be pretty schmick, and
yeah.
I yeah, I'd, I'd want a little bit more action, like especially a hard boiled dude.
Yeah, I'd,
Getting some more stuff from him.
who's doing Spike's Family?
Uh,
Is it? It's not Clover, is it? No.
I don't. Was it Wit?
Oh, it's
Might
Whip.
have.
Yeah, I think it's Whip. Um, I think they would be a good choice because they have that ability to do that, the cute animation, the cute family environment, but also the fast-paced action that needs to be
It's Wit and
pushed.
Clover.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's understandable because I reckon Clover's doing the action and Whit's probably doing the
Ah.
softer stuff. Um, yeah. I guess on a sidestep back, I would love to see Madhouse do Trojan X. Yeah, yeah,
Ooh.
you just saw all sorts of
Actually,
imagery when I said that.
who did Tokyo Ghoul? Because I don't want them
No,
to.
no, I was about to say I don't think I'd want that to happen.
Well,
Uh,
it could have. It doesn't necessarily had to have been the studio. It could have also
no,
been the director.
producers,
Yeah.
directors,
Or yeah.
producers, all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff, killing it.
Um. Uh. Oh, it's the one that I can never remember how to pronounce. Piero.
Ah, yeah, I
They
know the
did.
one you're talking about. Don't
I
they do a lot of
always.
kids stuff?
I think so. Whenever I see it, I'm like, oh, it's a French company.
Yeah, yeah, they got a little bit of a vibe to them.
I mean, they've been
Uh,
around since the 80s.
yeah.
Let's something recent. What have we got? Oh, they did Tokyo Mew Mew. That's 20 years ago, Bradley. That's not recent. There we go. Now we're in the 2010s. That's showing my
2010s,
age.
dude. We're in the 20s now. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, I
Yeah.
said relatively recent. Oh, they're actually doing the Boruto series. They also do Black Clover.
They're too
What
busy to do this.
what did they do? What did they do before Tokyo Ghoul? Um, yeah,
Something. Something. It doesn't matter about those things.
actually Bleach, Naruto.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yeah,
Mm.
so they had their
Okay.
finger in
So
two of the
they
big.
are, yeah, they are not to touch Trojan X.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah.
But then again, Bleach and Naruto, they're that that serialization, the same way that they did that is no
Yeah.
longer like it's a different
It's
beast
it's a different
now.
market. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're not doing week to week anymore.
which is
Um,
good.
it's so much better. I mean, the class of animation that's coming out and the standard people are just getting used to now is just, they couldn't go back to week.
All right. I will. I they can no. I take it back. They can touch it. They did Akudama Drive,
Okay, that was good.
and that was their
Um,
original work too. So
was it?
yeah. They co-created it with a games company.
Huh. How about that? That was a pretty fun
To
series.
Cure Games. What is that?
It's not based on like a mobile game or something, is it?
No. They're a game studio who dabbles in animation.
Sweet.
They
So
haven't
maybe
done a
they
lot on
maybe
either
they do a
side
lot
of things, though.
of cutscenes and stuff in their games. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, they did World's End Club.
Okay.
Um, yeah, Death Come True. Yeah, okay. The two games that they've actually done are very anime.
Yeah.
And I know that that sounds kind of weird to say, but yeah, like um World's End Club is the brainchild of like the one of the guys who did the Danganronpa series.
Okay. Yep.
And ah right. So that's the director.
Hmm.
Wondering if it was more on a writing side that they had. Doesn't say. Anyway, we're
Yeah.
getting off topic.
Yeah, just a little.
That's fine. But yeah, so I mean, and they're coming back to do the Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War. So I mean, they've kind of got their hands
Okay.
full.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they do Kingdom the animation. I didn't realize
Huh.
that. Yeah.
Is that based on the manga?
Yes.
Okay. Just
I
checking.
believe so.
Just
I believe so.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
On a side note, before we start tying things up, we don't normally get around to talking about Dan to Dan before we finish our episode. But today I wanted to push it a little bit because I was reading today that there's been a lot of upset readers about the new character.
oh, the fat guy with glasses.
Yeah. The standard pervy nerd.
Otaku. Yeah.
Yeah. So there seems to be a little bit of upset, and I don't think it's in the Japanese market. I think it's more in the English speaking market that we're just a little bit over seeing this particular type of character, especially in the current dynamic that was happening in Dan to Dan. It was kind of
Yeah.
So they're basically saying that this standard otaku, pervert that comes up in most shonen style environments seems to have almost shoehorned his way into Dan to Dan. And look, that's the perspective of particular people. I myself think he's goddamn hilarious. I think as a character, he's just so funny. It's insane. Some of the stuff he does just brings a tear to my eye because it's just so typical. It's so on point and typical of these characters to the point where it's just stupid. and some of his lines are so good.
I'm just looking through the comment section on the on Manga Plus's latest chapter, and pretty much everyone's just talking like, what is this genre even? Like, it's pretty much everything.
I think it's now it's a mech series. and it just seems
it's so good at foreshadowing too.
Oh my god!
Like, and interconnecting everything. It's insane. If this isn't pre-planned out, like, he's a god.
This is very Fujimoto, and I'm starting to feel like he's learned that this is how you play the game. You do this little thing over here, and then it becomes a big thing over here, which is pretty standard of storytelling. But the way they do it is, you just don't expect it at all. It
feels so natural, and the little thing seems so inconsequential, and like more so than normal. And then it like extrapolates to being like so out of this world. Like, it's a major plot point. Like, Okarun stubs his toe, and then this whole thing goes on, and it's like the whole arc is like extrapolated from that.
Yeah, like he's suddenly has some sort of alien fungi growing on his toe because he stubbed his toe and it's gotten infected, and
it's just like random shit like that.
But the character, what really grounds it is the characters. They're so
the dynamic between all of them is just so well developed.
It is indeed. And the fight for Okarun is just so good at the moment. It is so good.
I'm sorry, but I'm with Momo here, and that Sloot should get her hands off Okarun.
her language is just so on point. It's just fantastic. It's so
I think that's what's so refreshing about it is the dialogue. That whoever's doing the translation and the lettering for the English translation is doing such a good job of like capturing the essence of youth, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's definitely something that has, even the grammar is youthful. Everything about this series is youthful.
Yeah.
There's not an ounce of
Even Turbo Granny.
yeah. They've all got an edge or an angle or something that's
Just they're all
different.
sassy. Full of sass. Just
I
so
love
full of
sass.
beans.
There's
I
nothing
love
better than
it.
sass, I say.
Yeah.
The way
Oh,
they all just talk to each other so naturally. All those moments where they're around a table or they're in a group and everything just all the conversations that go on in those 2 or 3 panels where they're in groups and stuff like that. It's just he's just I feel like
I
he's writing those on the fly. He's writing those
yeah.
moments. He's drawing them and then he's like, yeah, that's what they're saying. Because they're not related to the story and in any
No.
particular
No.
impact. It's just what they're saying to each other in the moment. And
Yeah.
that's what really grabs you and draws you into that moment. And, you're grounded in that. And then they
I
throw a mech at
wonder.
you.
A giant mech Buddha.
Buddha, mech Buddha.
Sorry. I'm wondering. This could be like me getting a little bit too meta and whatnot, but the next chapter is chapter 69. Now, it's only recently that they've introduced the pervy character. I'm
Please,
wondering.
please. Oh my god, that is so good.
I'm wondering if this was on purpose. If he's like looking at the chapter, like he's finished up the last arc and he's looking at the chapter numbers and he's like, we're getting pretty close to the sex number.
Let's do something fun. If he
I
does something
can't
with
wait to see
Godzilla and
this
Giant Buddha,
animated.
that would be. Am I dreaming about something weird?
Oh man, I need this animated.
I just feel like I'm just going to be disappointed if I see this animated.
I mean, did you
It's
think
one of
that the
those
same with Chainsaw
series.
Man? And I know it's not out yet, but
A
the
little bit.
PVs.
I mean, they've pushed back the release date on this thing so much, and the PVs have definitely given me a lot more confidence in what they're going to do. But at the same time, Chainsaw Man's a lot more straightforward. It's if you go back and read it again, I don't know the last time you read it, back through again, but its characters and its storytelling is really direct. It's in your face. This is what's happening. This is how it's going to happen. There we go.
I mean, Dandadan's not that different. It's
the dynamic.
it's
And if
got
they
the
don't
art
get the
clear,
character voice dynamics in, and they
in
don't
saying that the current, like, the only voice actors that we've heard for Chainsaw Man so far are just pretty much exactly what I pictured.
Yeah.
Especially Power. Power is
Oh,
perfect
I
casting.
loved it. When she spoke, I'm just like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted.
I'm really interested to see who they're going to cast for the dub.
Yeah. Well, it's the same people they always cast. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the English dub cast pool is getting bigger and bigger. There's a lot more unknowns coming through. Most properties will have at least like 3 or 4 of the that's that person from Dragon Ball era dubbing, like those.
But at this point, surely enough, they must be gauging the popularity of these newer mangas that are hitting in the English speaking world. They must understand that this stuff is way bigger than they realize. This is not some slouchy, never heard of manga series. This stuff is an international best-selling series. It's not something simple. They've got to throw money at this, and they got to do it right.
Yeah. And I want to see Dandadan animated, man. Bones. I want Bones to do it.
No, man. You know who you want to do it.
No, I know who I want to do it, but they only do originals.
I know, but you know who you want to do it. And I feel like this is their series. This is their series that they could do. That is that one breakaway from what they normally do. And man,
it
Oh,
would fit
Trigger doing
very in
Dan to
line.
Dan would just be like a dream for me. It
It'd be like Kill
really
la
would.
Kill. It'd be
Yeah,
pretty.
but
It'd be
more
very
structured.
reminiscent. Yeah, yeah.
And more grounded, and it would be like, yeah, it'd be like if Kill la Kill had a baby with Little Witch Academia. It's just that have that, that dynamic between these lower characters, these everyday
And they've had
characters.
experience with mechs.
Yeah. Look, it just makes sense. And look, I know Trigger's not going to be listening, but please, Trigger, just please make this happen, because it just
Yeah.
makes so much sense that there's only one company that could pull off this insanity, this pure craziness, the way that it's illustrated. So I can dream.
Admittedly, I haven't actually seen anything from Trigger since BNA.
Well, I didn't watch their new. So they've been doing a lot of that, the SSSS stuff.
SSSS. Well, yeah, SSS Gridman, and then
Yeah,
SSSS dies.
yeah,
The
they've
other
gone
one.
real mecha. They've gone real hardcore mech stuff, and I've tried to watch a few episodes, and it seems to be steeped in a lore that
It's a spin-off
is,
of
yeah,
like
that is
of
not us.
Gridman.
Yeah, and I don't know what Gridman is. Um,
I'm about to tell you.
okay, do it. Do it.
So it's from the early 90s. It's
Yeah, yeah.
very Power Ranger esque,
Hmm.
but with kaiju. Which
So
I
it's
mean,
just.
Power Rangers did have kaiju, didn't it?
Did you just describe Ultraman to me?
Yeah, it's very similar to Ultraman.
Right.
um,
Yeah. Okay. I
uh,
don't. Why would they do that then? What? Why choose that as
I don't know.
their thing to just steer off and do? It just. I don't
Um,
know. I never understand Trigger. They just do weird shit all the time.
yeah, I don't know. So the SSSS stands for Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, and that's not how you spell cyber. Come on, guys, that's a stretch.
And I'll tell you what. There's not one freaking samurai in that series.
Really?
No one.
Oh man.
It's an
Yeah, no.
Ultraman.
Dude, it's the producers of Ultraman. That's why.
Oh. How did
Yeah,
they
okay,
sneak their way into Trigger?
I don't know. I'm trying to I'm really quickly trying to look and see if there's any like names from like the original series that's connected. But I mean, it could have just been like a cult classic that they got their hands on.
I think so. I think there was a lot of love internally for the original series, and I think it's fallen flat on the international market because we have no idea what this is about,
Yeah.
and it doesn't explain. If you try to watch
Oh.
Gridman, it doesn't explain. It just jumps straight into it, and you just got to guess what's happening and how it works, or who's this and who's that, and it's just no, yeah, there's just no structure for it.
So
Unless you were a fan.
it's a partner series with the company that owns Ultraman.
Okay,
That's what's the go is there.
that explains a bit. That explains it.
It's also, I think, anniversary. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, the end. There is something else coming out though, which is an adaptation actually. Ooh,
what?
yeah, I
What?
know. So I mean, there's hope.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the new series is called Delicious in Dungeon. It's a seinen fantasy comedy manga series. Um, I've
I
got
think I
nothing
heard
else for
something
you.
about this. I think I
I
heard
don't.
something um, about that happening, but I don't remember Trigger being attached to it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know if I've. Oh, so it's been going since 2014. It's
Is it in Isekai?
I don't think so. I think it's just straight fantasy.
Okay.
Um, from what I can gather, the cover for the first volume is just a dude in a suit of armor with a spatula and a frying pan.
That sounds familiar for some weird reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Bring it on. Bring it on, Trigger.
So I mean, there's I mean, SSS Gridman and the other one,
yeah,
not their original work. And Delicious in Dungeon, not their original work. The only other thing that they have done that's been based on something else is something that they did after Kill the Kill, which I missed. When Supernatural Battles, Supernatural Battles became commonplace.
that was a
Which
good series. I
I
enjoyed that.
didn't hear anything about it.
Oh, didn't you?
No.
I had no idea that Trigger was attached to that.
Actually, and Trigger's also doing the Cyberpunk Edge Runners series. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're branching out.
Goodness. Thank
They
goodness.
also
I mean, there's only so much original work you can do and
they
survive
did two different Star Wars Visions episodes or something as well.
Yeah, they did.
So
They were
yeah,
fun. They were crazy. You know what? Those were the episodes that Star Wars fans complained the most about it.
oh, because
They were just like, why are they in space and not wearing a spacesuit? And there was just so much going on in those episodes that you're just like, oh, it's so visually beautiful.
And I mean, that's Trigger. It's wacky
it's
and visually
stunning.
beautiful.
Yeah. And the Star Wars fans just like, I don't get
it. So it was very anime.
Oh yeah, it was so it was more anime than everything else that was in that series.
I still haven't gotten around to watching. I haven't. Nothing has fully sold me to get Disney Plus yet.
Yeah,
and I don't mind Star Wars, but I don't. I also have a bit of a bug up my butt about Disney and all their holdings and their greedy fingers on
and the way
intellectual property.
Well,
I mean, they like to steal everything from the public domain and then copyright everything and then lobby to governments to allow them to extend their copyright indefinitely. It's like, are you guys serious? Like, do you just want to
we can do what we want?
You literally just want to earn everything.
Yeah, they do. They do. Good luck, Disney, because all the original products are coming from elsewhere.
But yeah, interesting. Little wrap up. That's
we'll wrap up now.
That's our hope for the future of our anime adaptations.
Yeah. Dan to Dan, Trigger, Trojan X, Madhouse, Kaiju 8. Who are we hoping there? Who are you hoping? Because we got big beasts and we got a little bit of mech in there. A little bit of mech. It's pretty clean design.
I can't think of actually actually it's Bones. Yeah. I was going through the list of anime with mechs and little bits of more exosuits, I guess, and your big monsters and your big explosions and blood and guts. It's got to be Bones. Kaiju number 8.
Bones have got a really clean feel to them, so it just makes sense.
Yeah, actually, who did Zammed? Damned would be pretty
Jesus.
close. Yeah, no, that's going back a while, isn't it?
I was just like, what? Going back to the future a bit there.
Wow, that was 2008. And it was Bones, yeah.
Yeah. Imagine what they'd do back then. Yeah.
Wow. That's making me feel old.
As long as they don't include too much 3D in there, I am fine with whatever they do.
Bones, actually, yeah, Bones has been doing Godzilla Singularity Point. So yeah.
Oh man, that was so good. Have you seen that?
Yeah. No,
That
not
was
yet.
really enjoyable.
It's
Definitely
on my
watch it.
list.
The animation's very nice. It's actually, what am I saying? The hand drawn stuff's really nice. The 3D feels a little bit out of place because the hand drawn is so natural.
Yeah.
It's
Actually, yeah, no, I have seen the
yeah.
trailer for it, and I get what you mean.
Yeah. But it's a good series. It's worth watching.
Yeah. Was it what's the Eureka 7? That was the one I was actually thinking of, as well as
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, you get me? You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I can see where you're going there. Not quite Gundam, not quite Evangelion.
No, but neither is
Somewhere in between.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's kind of the feel that you get from kaiju. Like, there's not really. It's little versus big.
What about this? Just out of left field, production IG.
Hmm? Sunrise.
Production IG.
Yeah, look, Sunrise, maybe not.
Just let them stick to the Gundam stuff. It's I don't know.
I mean,
Sunrise aren't bad. They're not bad. They've done some good
though.
stuff. Yeah, that's what I mean. They've done some decent stuff, but they're real hit and miss. They very are. They very much are.
What's Production IG done recently, actually?
Good question.
It was rhetorical. I'm getting there. Oh, there's no dates. Oh, hang on. Here we go. It's in a completely different format. Oh, they did Fena, the Pirate Princess. I still need to get around to watching that. I heard that it was really, 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 really good, and then the ending kind of wet the bed.
Well, it's pretty standard for anime.
Yeah.
You know why though? It's because the source material gets up to a point, and then they're like, "Yeah, you're not popular enough. Cut you off. Cancel you."
They haven't really done.
They fox everything.
They haven't done a huge amount in the
No, they don't. I think they do a lot of behind the scenes stuff,
like fill-in work.
Yeah,
like partnering up with other,
which is a real shame because they've done some really spectacular stuff in the past. But I think they're one of those companies that sits in the background and does a lot of the work that other companies can't do.
Yeah,
in the turnaround period.
There was a season 3 for Psychopass.
Yeah.
How did I not hear? What?
Yeah.
I'm the anime guy. How did I not know this? I really like Psychopass, actually.
That was such a cool story. That
I didn't like season 2 as much as season 1, but that was mainly just
get that.
It was just the dynamic between like the female and male lead, and because he disappears, like in the end of season 1.
The third season.
Oh, is he back?
I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm just staring the pot there.
Yeah, all right. Did they do? They did. I know they did the Holic movie. Holic is a little bit of a. Yeah, they did do the series. I love Triple X Holic. It's like
I've never watched it.
It's one of Clamp's.
I know it's incredibly popular.
I'm trying to think, like, it's because a lot of Clamp stuff is very romantic. With with other things, but Holic was more in the supernatural vein than it was in the romance. Like Chobits was fun, but it was very it was kind of like a rom-com drama, romantic drama. Card Captor Sakura, equal part. It was romance action. Tsubasa was the same. Tsubasa was probably their closest to like a shonen. But it was about a dude who was basically going on a grand adventure to save the love of his life. But it was her memories from memory that he was going after, and she was actually on the journey as well. It was a really interesting series that was their own multiverse because it weaved in with their other series as well.
This sounds like a story for another time.
Yeah. Clamp is a big rabbit hole, man.
I know. I was about to say, just hold on a second.
Yeah, you're probably wise to have stopped me there because I was about to go down a big hole. Anyway, we were gonna wrap up before we started talking about production IG.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode of Read This Way. Make sure to like and comment and subscribe and do all those things. It really helps us out. Help us grow the community. We've got a Discord server, so if you want to get notifications.
I would like to be notified, please.
Please make sure to join up, and we will see you the 24th of August is our next episode.
Oh my god.
I know, we're already that far through the year.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. I've been Brad.
And I've been Logan.
And we have been Read This Way.